matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com.
Well, we're closed. Now we're open for business here, but over there on the East Coast, upper East Coast, New York, they're closed for business. Dow up 240. NASDAQ up 350. Look at that, guys. NASDAQ down 350. Dow up 240. And the reason that is because there's a big AI trade. There's a big software and AI trade that's made these guys on Wall Street a ton of money and just what's up bigger. And it's kind of deflating a little bit. And it's taking things down. NVIDIA came down last couple of days. Microsoft's come down last few days. So this whole AI trade is kind of finding its own footing, so to speak. So NASDAQ, very tech heavy exchange, took it on the chin a little bit today, but it's been really, really ripping for a long time. Gold, that's actually down a little, showing $33 up. It's actually down from yesterday. It was about $5,000 now yesterday. $49.68. Oil, tough one, up $1.19. There are guys who like to see higher oil prices. We don't. We want to see lower oil prices because that brings inflation down for every single thing we do. Jump over the crypto markets, still having a tough time. Can't get out of its own way. Down. Bitcoin, trying to find some support, looking for support anywhere. All right, our first guest says AI will be taking over white-collar jobs and many people will be out of work. He emphasizes the importance of young people learning a trade. Very, very great advice in bringing the Main Street mindset back to middle America. Happy to have the CEO of Old Glory Bank, Mike Ring, with us. Mike Ring, good to have you back, my friend. Last time I saw you, we were in Phoenix. Charlie Kirk's AM
Turning
Fest.
Point.
Yeah, the Turning Point, AM Fest, and you came on stage. Mike, this is some good news before we get into all this other stuff. Tell us, you're looking to put Old Glory Bank, get it up on NASDAQ, be listed as a stock so that the folks that can not only bank with you, they can invest in your great business.
Yeah, now, of course, we're not going to be one of those stocks that are down on the NASDAQ today, and we'll talk about that for a second. But we are going public here in a couple months, and we've announced a deal. Please check it out. And we really want everyone to have an opportunity, not only bank with us, respectfully, we have the best online banking in America. You can open an account in 8 minutes, but also own a piece of our stock. So you can literally own a bank that loves you. Even if you don't like what we like, we still love you.
Mike, you said something there, and I'm going to have to correct you, sir. You said you can open an account in 8 minutes. It only took me 5 minutes to open my account in Old Glory Bank, and that's true. And it was literally 5 minutes.
We don't make special rules for VIPs, even though you are. That's exactly right. I got to lower it.
I don't want you special. And it wasn't. It was literally, I just went online. You told me where to go. I went online, and I opened it up. So, yeah, folks, check out Old Glory Bank. Certainly as a bank, we want to talk about conservative values, that man right there, and also that bank right there. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on, Mike, if you don't mind, in the AI business. I talked about NASDAQ, a little bit of the AI trade coming in, imploding a little bit, so to speak. But there are a lot of people, and I'm one of them, who thinks that AI will be a massive, massive job killer in America. So what should folks do?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think there's a massive blue-collar revival going on. Like when we grew up, or the last generation, everyone said, go to college, learn the code, and you'll be taken care of. Well, there is a paradigm, and you were talking about the markets being down today, especially NASDAQ. Over the last 5 days, the software index lost $500 billion in market cap, and it's down 2% today, 14 over the last 5 days, 18 for the year, I think if my memory is right. And the reason why is because people are realizing that those white-collar jobs are at risk. And Anthropic came out with a new model called Claude, and where these names come, I don't know who comes up with these, but people have realized that they can code and do legal drafting and office work. So a lot of these tech companies that rely on providing people for that are going to be a problem. So what do we say? I think it's time to, like President Trump's been talking about, tell America to go out and get real jobs, not a job like yours, Eric, but a real job where you learn a trade and you can make a great living and you can do our parents did.
I resemble that remark, Mike. You know what my concern is? AI is moving so fast. It is moving so fast. I don't think the guardrails are in place. And I said this the other day, and it really I'm going to continue to say it. I think this is really, really prescient. I said, after all, folks, we're only human, and never, ever in the history of mankind, humanity, has that meant more. We're only human because AI, there is literally a 25, some people say more, 25% chance that AI makes humanity extinct. Can you imagine this?
I'm not sure if I would go there, but this is where I am going. And I'm saying that as you plan your kid's future, and if you're in your 20s, think about this. Don't go waste hundreds of thousands of dollars on college. Go out and get a real job, learn a trade, even join the right kind of union, not a teacher's union or a public type of union, but a real union. And think about how we could change Main Street America. If people didn't get loaded up with debt, they could buy that first home, they could start that family, they could have kids, and they could have their weekends to go to church and be with their community. So I actually love that finally people need to go back and get jobs like electricians and masons and plumbers. AI ain't coming to our house and building an addition. So while I don't think we're at the Terminator moment yet, I think a lot of office jobs are at risk.
I'll tell you what, and when this whole transformation happens, there's going to be huge demand for plumbers, for construction workers, for car mechanics. Guess what happens? Your numbers go up. You become more valuable, and you can command a higher salary. Can we just talk about some of the lunatics, some of the most hypocritical people on the planet? Hollywood. Grammys specifically over the weekend. Billie Eilish won, record of the year. Listen to what Billie Eilish, she's speaking to a bunch of lunatic Hollywood elitists, and listen to what she had to say.
No one is illegal on stolen land. I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and ICE is all I want to say. Sorry.
Yeah, F-ICE. And by the way, I believe we found out that she lives in a multi-million-dollar home that sits on Tongva tribe land, independent. How's that, Mike? What are your thoughts on the hypocrisy out of Hollywood?
And this is not a tough prediction, but in 3 years there will be no Grammys, not because the show is miserable and not because the ratings suck, but because most of these people who are earning these awards will be replaced by AI. You talk about an easy talent to replace, it is these people. So here they are worried about ICE and us and all these silly issues, and their very livelihood is at risk, and they're not even paying attention to it. The Grammys will not be here 3 years from now, and mark my word.
It's easy to replicate music now. AI can replicate. Sometimes it's better in, some of the artists that we grew up listening to. They can actually enhance the artists that we listen to as well. Crypto. Can I get one more topic in here before we go? Crypto.
Please.
What in the world? And you and I have talked about crypto. By the way, Old Glory Bank very much involved in the crypto world, which is fantastic. I think you are prescient. I think you're seeing the future, because that's where I know I don't trust government. And the only way we can make sure the government stays out of our pockets and out of our bank accounts is through the cryptocurrency. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've always said you can't have real freedom. And listen, no one can trust the Fed. No one can trust, what we've seen with Arctic Frost and different government issues. You can't have true freedom unless you have decentralized finance. And Old Glory Bank is the first bank that's going to unify crypto into daily banking. And listen, remember, there's two types of crypto. There's asset holdings, which you see a lot of these, they're down today, but, assets go up and down. But the true future of remittances is stable coins, to be able to send money anywhere on the planet backed by the dollar, which some people could say, the dollar's not trustworthy, but it's the most reliable asset out there. And so think of these assets that you're seeing as hedges, as investments, but stablecoin is the future for remittance. It is not the Federal Reserve's business, how you spend your money, and only a stablecoin on the blockchain can ensure that you stay anonymous. And we are very bullish on all things digital assets and the DeFi economy.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Mike Ring, CEO of Old Glory Bank, I'm very bullish on Old Glory Bank, because you guys are seeing the future, and I just love the fact they can now bring it to the folks and they can get involved personally. Of course, you can invest in the bank. You can put deposits into the bank, but you also can invest in a really smart business model. Mike Ring, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Good friend of mine, by the way, folks.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, folks. February, National Cancer Prevention Awareness Month. Cancer is obviously something that touches almost every single American. Here to discuss the ongoing research is the Chief Scientific Officer at the wellness company, Dr. Peter McCullough. Doc, before I get into this, I'm wearing a baseball cap today because I got a bandage on my forehead. I had a basal cell carcinoma removed this morning, and it was supposed to be just a scrape, and it ended up being like 12 stitches. So, this stuff is real. Tell us what you think we should be doing. Tell us what we're doing wrong, and what is the wellness company doing to help us?
Eric, first let me say that was a great interview you just had, and I'm with you. I think AI is going to be big. It's already big in medicine because the medical database is so huge. it's helping us find answers quickly, particularly at the bedside. I use it all the time. I think it's going to become even more powerful. It's going to make us better. Now, in terms of cancer, the big breakthroughs now are, thoughts that we can prevent cancer. So sure, surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation have gotten better, but to prevent cancer and prevent all of that expensive treatment and misery would really be the goal. So there's ways we can organize our lifestyles, our diet, in particular now some new products from the wellness company, including Shield, which is a combination soft gel drink system that will help patients raise their defenses to fight off incipient cancers.
So cancer causes continue to evolve. Do we know what some are? And Shield is a way to actually shield us from some of the toxins, carcinogens that we may be ingesting?
Right, and also help activate our tumor suppressor system. So it turns out you probably are forming little tumors, like you formed one in that basal cell carcinoma, Eric, and your body didn't have the ability to knock it out. And what Shield is doing is trying to raise those defense systems, clearly, detoxifying when we can. And, especially for some of the deeper cancers, Eric, pancreatic cancer, other solid organ cancers, they're not easily detected. Thank goodness your basal cell, you could see it and you got it removed. And hopefully the margins, everything are clear and you're done. But for internal organ cancers, I think we all need to improve our lifestyle, diet, and I think many should be considering Shield. Really important, Shield. And I guess this is how it plays in. Most of the focus, I guess, in big pharma and certainly big medicine as well, as treating cancer, right? Everyone's got a cancer hospital, but it's kind of a little too late then. But what about the focus on preventing cancer? What should we do? Well, it's the way to go. First off, I would say never smoke. If you smoke, stop. Believe it or not, alcohol is a risk factor for head, neck, and esophageal gastric cancer. So for some, that's going to be tough to say goodbye. We know actually being too fat, too heavy, particularly in women, is related to some breast and gynecologic cancers. And we're into early screening and detection, so certainly mammography, colonoscopy, PSA, prostate, testicular exams for smokers, rapid CT of the lungs. And then beyond that, it's really down to anti-cancer diets. So we know cruciferous vegetables like kale and broccoli, turmeric, and then, of course, supplements like Shield that takes extracts, medicinal and culinary extracts, and really boosts our defense systems. Dr. Pete, always good to have you on. Like next time we come on, we want to talk to about ivermectin, because you and I did a lot of work years ago, about 5-6 years ago during COVID, and they said we were crazy and you were crazy, and it turns out you were. They say conspiracy theories are only conspiracy in theory for so long, they end up being real. Doc, good to get you back, my friend. Talk to you again soon. Wellness Company, folks. Thanks, Eric. All right, folks, gold and silver, really volatile right now, right? Markets swinging up, down, all over the place. People think it's about price. It's not. Supply and demand matter. But they're not what move mountains and markets. Fear and greed do. That's my trading floor, guys. I traded on that floor for 12 years. Volatility doesn't live in markets, it lives in our lives. The question isn't whether chaos shows up, it always does. The question is, and the answer is, what anchors you when chaos knocks on your front door? For me, my edge was forged on pro baseball diamonds, on Wall Street trading floors, and under the pressure at the highest levels of media. That's where you learn something very simple. It's not the uncertainty that defines you, it's your response to it. If you're not building something with real value or preparing for that response, tomorrow will feel empty when the noise fades. But if you prepare, if you stay disciplined, and you just don't survive volatility, you thrive through it. That's the edge right there, and that's why we put the edge together. It's forged, not given. Hit your QR code right there with your camera, or go to YouTube in the search box, Eric Bowling the Edge, Eric Bowling the Edge, have them both in there. Join it. We got 10,300 plus subscribers in 4.5 months. We got almost 700,000 views already. Please be part of this. I really would appreciate your subscription. I know we appreciate you here at Real America's Voice, 4 o'clock East Coast, bowling, and subscribing to The Edge. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
This holiday season, Real America's Voice is proud to partner with our friends at Angel Studios for a special giveaway you won't want to miss. As they launch season 2 of their hit series Homestead, we're giving you the chance to win an exclusive Homestead hat absolutely free. Everyone who becomes an Angel Guild member using our link is automatically entered to the contest. When you join, you're supporting meaningful pro-American storytelling, and you're supporting RAV at the same time. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, or text the word RAVAngel to 75802. After you scan or text, make sure you follow the steps provided. When you complete the steps and join the Angel Guild, you'll be automatically entered to win that exclusive Homestead hat, a perfect holiday gift for yourself or someone you love.
Be one of the first 50 people to sign up and win a hat automatically. Hurry while there's still time.
So scan that QR code or text RAVAngel to 75802. Happy holidays from all of us at RAV.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
All right, let's bring in our own RAV international correspondent who's currently in El Salvador, where he toured the Tourism Confinement Center, which is the maximum security prison, also known as CCOT. Always happy to have Oscar El Blue Ramirez with us. Oscar, you are at CCOT, MS-13 prisoners. It's well known. In fact, CBS pulled an interview, a 60 Minutes interview with Trump because they didn't want to mention CCOT. Tell us what you see.
Well, it is a center of confinement of terrorism. It has a capacity for 40,000 MS gang members. It has a capacity right now for 20,000. We walked into this particular place, and all of these people are designated as terrorists by the government of Nayib Bukele. Some of them, they're serving time for 780 years. They're never going to come out. They already said and established, the government of Bukele, that they don't want this plague and they don't want this cancer to metastasize and to spread all over the continent. We walked through this particular place, and this is what the Democrats were advocating, Eric. This is what Joe Biden and the open borders under his 4 years, these people were coming back and forth from the United States to Mexico. We have a huge interview with one of them that said that he committed crimes in the United States of America, and also that he was aligned with the cartels in Mexico. That's how aggravated this problem was until Donald Trump shut down the borders, and now you don't have these kind of terrorists crossing back and forth. They're delivered to the Salvadorian authorities, and they are right now in the center of confinement of terrorism.
You know, it's fascinating because I know Trump and Bukele actually formed a deal to send some of the hardened criminal illegals that they find here to CCOT. And a federal judge here struck that down. I'm going to tell you, just looking at some of these pictures, Oscar, it may have been a very, very good thing to send a few of them there to maybe stop some of the illegal immigration of these really thuggish illegals coming across the border.
That's where they need to be, and that's the name that we need to designate them as. We need to designate them as terrorists. This is the number one reason why they are locked up. These people committed horrible crimes. They were in charge of doing sicario work. They were in charge of decapitating, dismembering, kidnapping. They were terrorizing not only the people in Central America, but also in neighborhoods in the United States of America. This is a reality. This is what it needs to be done. to clean up a country just because they extracted all these 20,000 and plus terrorists from the MS gang. Now the country of El Salvador is flourishing with the economy. A lot of the people are just walking around 9, 10 o'clock at night, free with enormous security. They have the freedom to do their lives now. And because of these thugs and these gang members, these terrorists, they were just basically neglecting, they were neglecting the freedom of the citizens. So it is pretty, it was pretty amazing to walk through that hallway and to look at them in the eye, Eric, and to just with our eyesight, just like you deserve that. You deserve to be in that particular place.
Were you able to interact with any of them, Oscar? And that's got to be kind of intimidating to see some of the, the worst of the worst there. Were you ever have any sort of conversations with any of them? And what was their response to an, Mexican but American reporter?
We're going to have that, mini documentary just placed on Real America's Voices and also Rav en Español. And on that mini documentary, we have an interview with one of them that committed a lot of crimes inside of the United States of America, was an MS-13. And he says, yes, I am a terrorist. Yes, I committed crimes in the United States of America. And yes, I was aligned with the cartels. And when you're looking at him, he says it with no fear, but they know the consequences of what they did to just communities, cities, states, and the whole possibly continent. They used to have connections to how to disappear people and connections with high-level cartel members, Cartel de Sinaloa, Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, Cartel Los Zetas. These organizations are huge, and they were using them as executioners for other people.
Scary, scary group there. And wow. Oscar, you had a conversation with the Minister of National Defense, Rene Francis Marino. Let's take a listen to the soundbite from that.
We are privileged to be in El Salvador in the community of Apopa with the Minister of Defense, Mr. Merino. Mr. Merino, what was the strategy to complete and to basically execute this mission to eradicate the terrorists? That they are terrorists and they completely terrorize the country of El Salvador. What was the strategy to go on the ground?
So the tactical and operational level was take the control of the territory, because we knew that the gang member, they took the control of the territory. So one of the key action here was to take the control of the territory.
One of the things that it was extremely important is the designation of them to be designated as terrorists.
Yeah.
That is, and cartels need to be designated as terrorists. They acted more and worse than criminals and cartels.
Yeah, but in this case, the most important was in March 2022, because they were terrorists. Before Mr. President assumed the control of El Salvador, they were designated as a terrorist. However, they were working freely here because the law protect them.
Oscar, knowing what you know, what we know because of you, with government and whatever law enforcement in cahoots or bought and paid for by the cartels, are these guys worried for their lives?
Not anymore. They completely eradicated this plague and this cancer that it was metastasizing. And, now these people are respected. The gang members are afraid of them. The people before, they didn't respect them because they were bought off. There was a lot of corruption. Bukele came over here and completely eradicated, the swamp of El Salvador, completely clean it up. And now you have law enforcement actually doing their jobs. And this was completely amazing. As I was walking with the Minister of Defense through the neighborhoods, people were walking towards him and taking pictures of him, yelling thank you, yelling Viva Bukele, all these kind of things that the Democrats and the liberals in the United States of America called Bukele a dictator. That, the progressive mercenary liberals in the whole continent called Bukele a dictator. Meanwhile, the people themselves, they're celebrating every time that you see a law enforcement officer or like the Minister of Defense that we have the privilege to walk with them. They celebrate what they're doing to their country.
It's amazing Mexico can't take a cue from Bukele and El Salvador and maybe clean up the streets in our southern neighbors, so to speak. You're going to speak with the Minister of Security, Gustavo Villatoro. Tell us about what you expect.
We talked to him in 2023. One of the things that I asked him was about these international organizations and these NGOs. How, before Bukele came into the government, they were not even saying anything, and the homicide rate was crazy. And then when Bukele came into government, they started attacking them And he said this to me clearly. He said, Oscar, these NGOs, these United Nations, they want our streets filled with blood. That's what they want. So they're completely against these international organizations having power over the country. They're completely forward with law enforcement, the Constitution, and the government being the number one that has the power and the decisions over the security of the citizens. And it's going to be a great interview tomorrow.
Yep, looking forward to that. Oscar, very quickly, about 30 seconds or so. What is the feeling about Donald Trump there?
They completely love him. Mr. Merino, every law enforcement, they love him because he closed the border, he shut down the border, and he has an enormous relationship with, Nayib Bukele, the people that I'm with right now, the head of communications group from the government. They love him. Everybody, they love him because he's bringing law, he's bringing order, and they share ideologies exactly like Bukele to fix their country first.
Oscar, always great work. Oscar El Blue Ramirez, wonderful, and we can't wait to see the interview and also the documentary special. Oscar, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. It's always a pleasure.
All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Freedom to speak your mind, freedom to protest policies you don't like, freedom to start a business, freedom to own property, freedom to vote, freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything, their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/rev today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/rev or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat. When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off,
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
I'm Lou, mega pilot from Rav's Gator Shack here in beautiful Trump County, Florida. The best place for real news is Real America's Voice.
Howdy, Rav fans. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rav is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years, and a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of our savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. More than any other commodity on earth, gold thrives during uncertainty, which is exactly why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy, especially right now. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold as a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you, too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Think about that for a second. You already have an IRA, and you just switch it into gold. You're not outlaying any more money. Birch Gold will help you do that. Just text the word America to the number 989898. Receive your free info kit on gold. No obligation, just useful information. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and tens of thousands of happy customers let Birch Gold Group help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind regardless of global uncertainty. Text the word America to 989898. Again, one more time, America to 989898. All right, the UN in big danger of financial collapse. And we're supposed to care. Why?
The Secretary General has, as you know, repeatedly made clear the problem both of non-payment of Jews by member states. So unless either the payments come in or we're not compelled to spend, to return the monies that we are not able to spend because we didn't receive the budget, unless one of those two things happen, we face a real danger of running out of money.
He should have just said, money, 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 give me more money. But why? Why are so many countries failing to send in their payments to such a useful organization? Well, this moment serves as a reminder of why the UN is the pinnacle of self-righteous and impotent globalism. The UN is an anti-Western organization. Don't be fooled. They're influenced by the Soroses of the world. In fact, the actual Soroses of the world, too, through a shady network of NGOs. It no longer serves our interests. We don't need it. The receipts proving why to follow, as always. Folks, we will show you. Just over a year ago, our president said that America is entering a golden age, but this is the part no one really wants to talk about, which is how ugly that road really is to get there. I call it the age of correction. And that age is never pretty. It requires patience, resilience. It means we remove ourselves from global organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, like the United Nations that are inherently evil, but want our money to help them continue to run. It means we undo years of globalist policy that those organizations passed down into our country, and weak globalist puppet presidents were more Biden, Obama, even Clinton. They were more than happy to welcome those folks in. And it means people will cry and scream about it like the globalist puppets and snowflakes that they are, pretending it's fascist to put the needs of our own country first and our citizens first. What we're seeing in Minneapolis, Los Angeles, the violent protests across the country, the insistence by these paid-for leftists that our sovereignty doesn't matter, where do you think that influence comes from? The UN is just a laundering machine for the leftist agenda. They helped create and fund the civil war we now see brewing in our own country, where a bunch of anarchists and Antifa comrades think that the rights of illegal invaders are more important than the rights of our actual American citizens. At the last UN General Assembly, a couple of weeks ago, President Trump called out the UN clowns right to their faces.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border.
Think about what he was just saying. The UN aided and abetted the invasion of our country, gave them shelter and money, and Joe Biden just slept right through it, of course. Apparently invading America is just fine to the folks at the UN. Hamas attacking Israel is totally normal business to the folks at the UN. You know, Israel, well, they were asking for it, right?
It is important to also recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been subjected to 56 years of suffocating occupation.
What's a vacuum? So it's perfectly understandable to the head of the UN, Secretary General, right there, that more than 1,000 innocent civilians should be raped and killed, including children, apparently. I would say that right there is a mighty leap from the reason the UN was established. It was established in 1945, right after World War II, to prevent future global conflicts, maintain international peace and security, and foster cooperation among nations. How is helping invaders across our borders preventing conflicts exactly? Can't get that. Can't make that leap yet, folks. How is facilitating the trafficking of children exactly going to help the whole world? Please show us.
The previous administration also lost nearly 300,000 children. Think of that. They lost more than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States on the Biden watch, many of whom have been raped, exploited, and abused. Any system that results in the mass trafficking of children is inherently evil. Yet that is exactly what the globalist migration agenda has done, and it's what it's all about.
I would actually say the UN has actually lost the plot, and that's putting it lightly. The UN was created with a mandate to protect human rights. So then, how in the hell does Iran have a seat on the UN's Human Rights Council? Iran! They throw gays off buildings. This is why they've said nothing about the bloodshed there right now. Meanwhile, just this weekend, Iranian lawyers, lawmakers actually, in military uniforms are calling for, you guessed it, you know what they're saying right there? Death to America and death to Israel, all while overseeing the brutal murders of protesters on their own streets. Thousands of them. Nothing to say, United Nations. Only time to talk about not having enough money, dollars, U.S. dollars, greenbacks to keep the lights on and the heat running. Nothing to say about Iran, though, right? Nice and cushy spot in the UN Human Rights Council intact. Iran, you're good. UN, you're good. All good there. Remember when President Trump years ago, back in 2018, warned the NATO countries at the UN General Meeting not to be reliant on Russian oil years before Russia invaded Ukraine, and the German delegation, well, they laughed.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers. It has been the formal policy of our country since President Monroe.
I say bye-bye UN, I say bye-bye WHO, World Health Organization, and absolutely bye-bye to NATO. That's just me, folks. All right, folks, look at these moves in gold and silver over the last 3 trading days. Most people think markets move on supply and demand. That's only partly true. They do, but there's something else. That framework works until it doesn't. When volatility spikes like this, 2 forces matter far more than anything else, even far more than supply and demand. Those 2 things, fear and greed. Fear forces people to act, to save from massive losses, or when what you thought wouldn't happen, didn't happen. Fear creeps in and causes knee-jerk reactions. And greed convinces people they're right, or will be even more profitable if they stay the course. Sometimes that's worse than the fear trade. And by the way, the market doesn't care which one you feel. It only cares about who's disciplined and who has the conviction to make the right move when things swing violently. That's true in markets, and get this, it's true everywhere else, in your workplace, in your bank account, even in your personal relationships. This is the edge. We don't predict volatility, we train for it. So do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to The Edge, hit your camera right there, QR code, press it. Not going to charge you, ever going to charge you, not going to market stuff to you. We just want you to be part of it. We want you to prepare for volatility when it knocks on your door, the chaos when it knocks on your door. Oh, because it will. All right, check this out. We want to let you know something really, really cool, really special. Real America's Voice launched on Prime Video. That's right, Prime. You can watch Rav, you can watch this show, Bowling, on Prime Video. Get all their great programming from War Room with Bannon, the Charlie Kirk Show in the morning, yours truly right here at 4 o'clock Eastern, so much more. That is really, really cool. You got a Prime Video? Just go there. You got Amazon Prime? You get Prime Video. You can go check us out. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Freedom to speak your mind. Freedom to protest policies you don't like. Freedom to start a business. Freedom to own property. Freedom to vote. Freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything. Their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift, gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat. When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
you're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
I'm Lou, mega pilot from Rav's Getter Chat here in beautiful Trump County, Florida. The best place for real news is Real America's Voice.
Howdy, Rav fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rav is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
Well, before we move on, if you're 65 or older, this is very important. Every year, too many seniors realize their Medicare plan doesn't cover the doctors they trust. Suddenly, you're stuck finding new doctors or overpaying. That's Medicare. You can spend hours researching, doing everything right, and still end up on a plan that costs you thousands. Chapter is the only national advisor that compares every Medicare plan out there. On average, they save folks over $1,100 a year. One caller, Jill, said her Chapter advisor showed her options she didn't even see on Medicare's own website. That's how broken the system really is. Chapter is a free resource. Free resource, I said that right, for our audience, and can review all your options in under 20 minutes. If you're on Medicare, or soon will be, call our friends over at Chapter at 814-CHAPTER, 814-CHAPTER. It's help you can trust and should. All right, we just love these moments around here when CNN has to show the Democrats just how out of touch with America and Americans they really are. While Timu Obama, always known as Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and their fellow comrades pretend that having to show government-issued IDs to carry out one of the most vital actions a citizen can do of this democratic republic, well, that's akin to the days of, they say, slavery. They love to throw out terms like Jim Crow era, when in fact, all it is about is making sure that illegals can vote Democrat in all the elections, all because they can no longer win elections because their own platform is, I hate Donald Trump. That's all I got. Zero actual policy, zero actual care for America and our citizens. Democrats say, give us the power so we can do more lawfare, let criminals walk the streets, and let in millions more illegals so we can do this forever. Well, it turns out the rude awakening is here. Turns out that an overwhelming number of Americans, including Black Americans, including Latino Americans, turns out they're all in for showing government IDs to vote. Isn't that something?
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote. So something of a...
John Berman, the host on the other side, that guy, Empton, or whatever the heck his name is, he brings some like legit numbers. And the other guy, the host, on the left of that screen, he's like, oh, I got nowhere to go with this. We're screwed. Democrats, party of violence, plain and simple. You know, sometimes when I see a clip of Democrat Congressman Jerry Nadler in action, my first thought is always, Did he poop his pants? No, actually, it's how is this guy still in Congress? Seriously, how many more pants does this guy have to soil before it's time to call it? So Nadler decides to take it a step further than just calling ICE literal Nazis. He's now basically condoning shooting ICE agents. Am I hearing this right, Mr. Poopy Pants Nadler?
But what is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person to protect yourself. But we see people being shot for what? For driving a car?
I hate to be the girl behind him, you know what I'm saying? When they're not out calling for ICE agents to be shot as they're doing their own jobs, congressional members like Jasmine, you ask me a question, I'll answer it. Crockett are out there pushing out old debunked lies.
And the final point that I typically make is around understanding the root causes of migration. If people will remember, there were a lot of people that said that Vice President Harris was the border czar, and that wasn't really her title, but she was given some responsibilities as it relates to the border, and it was more so to understand root causes of migration. So the example that I usually use specifically in Texas is when the Haitians showed up at our border, there were these images of officers on horseback that were beating Haitians back into the water. And I was like, no one ever asked the question of why are the Haitians showing up at our border?
Can someone please tell Jasmine Crockett that that was all a lie when they actually, for context, played the videos? They showed that they weren't doing a thing. They were hitting the horses. That's how they were getting the horses. No Haitian ever got hit. Were they rounding them up with horses? Yeah, they were, but they weren't hurting them. Please. We think, a few years we're going to forget the actual story? You tried to make it that. It was never that. Notice how they made sure to show that image again, just as a reminder, while Democrats and mainstream media ran with the absolute lie that those border agents whipped those migrants. In fact, as the eventual CBP investigation confirmed, the agents were using reins to control their own horses, like I just said. They were not carrying whips and did not whip anyone. Meanwhile, Elmer Fudd is still out there distracting from the fact that he's the fraud father who loves to oversee fraud in his state. Did I say fraud enough? I'll say it again if I have to. And then distract everyone from that fraud by pretending to be any sort of match for the likes of border czar Tom Homan. Good luck with this.
It's been a week since I met with Tom Homan. Expectations have not changed. This force must leave Minnesota. The state of Minnesota and the professionals, nonpartisan judiciary must do the investigations into the shootings and other abuses of Minnesota's human rights. And this all-out assault on Minnesota across all of state government and all across life must stop. None of this is normal. None of this is okay. None of this makes Minnesota any safer. None of this adheres to the values of this country. All it does is cause terror and trauma.
Should we remind him why ICE was there? They were there to help investigate the $9 billion in fraud. Don Lemon, fresh off his arrest and becoming a beacon to the leftist snowflakes, attended Grammys where the audience apparently thinks he's just wonderful. And storming and terrorizing church, that's great. Gave him a standing ovation. So he took to Jimmy Kimmel. No surprise there. A little camaraderie between two guys who bask in the limelight of pretending to be victims when they both position themselves as biased, politicized hacks. So much in common.
But what I will say is that I'm not a protester. I went there to be a journalist. I went there to chronicle and document and record what was happening. I was following that one group around, and so that's what I did. I reported on them. And so, but I do think that there is a difference between a protester and a journalist. Yeah,
it's a little late to go with that story, Donnie Lemon, because there's video of you riling up and working with that crowd before they stormed into the church. That would put you smack dab in the middle of protest, not journalist. It's no wonder his state is such a mess. Gavin Newsom, too busy talking smack about President of the United States after attending the World Economic Forum in Switzerland to try desperately to hobnob with the world leaders who had no interest in talking or even taking a meeting with them.
I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of foreign leaders. I've had a chance
What's the general? If not putting,
they're laughing behind his back. That did not happen. I'm making this clear.
They're
do not conflate what I just said with the meeting I had with the Denmark delegation.
No, it wasn't them. Other foreign leaders are laughing.
I've had dozens and dozens. Ambassadors met with him.
What are they saying?
They're laughing behind his back. He's being played everywhere. It's an embarrassment.
I don't think so. I think they're scared poopless of Donald Trump. Let's just check in on the jihadist socialist in New York, where a major snowstorm hit over a week ago, and at least 13 people died because Zoran Mamdani wouldn't force the homeless off the streets in a massive cold snap. Socialism at its finest. All right, let's see here. Promised free buses, not happening. No free anything, actually, but higher taxes are coming. So that's an unexpected gift to New Yorkers. Oh, and higher energy bills coming too. The city's $12 billion in debt. Socialism lasted all about, 5 or 6 minutes until the Big Apple ran out of money. Socialism not looking so pretty anymore now, is it? And New Yorkers not too happy about it, taking to Zoran Mamdani's mayoral mansion to let him know about it.
That's right, we know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zoran. We voted for you, Zoran. We advocated for you, Zoran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting up and get up in there and lie to us. You lied, Zoran. Shame, Zoran.
Shame!
Your first lie was
Where are the whistles? They should have brought the whistles. Come on, borrow some whistles from Minnesota. What, they bought up all the whistles in America and Minnesota? All right, folks, we've never seen this movie before. Gold, 1800s. The Industrial Revolution, the internet in the 1990s. Every time people ask the same question, is this real value or just hype? AI is different, not because it's smarter, because it's faster than we are. When Elon Musk talks about merging space and AI, it's not science fiction. It's the real convergence of data exploration and power. The upside, AI could radically improve human health. Sure, longevity, yes, and decision-making. The next frontier isn't just technology. It's how long and how well we live. But here's the real question nobody seems to want to ask. What ethics does AI actually run on? Because if we don't decide that, someone else will. Progress is coming whether we like it or not. The only choice left is whether humans stay in control or quietly hand it over. This line, we're only human, has never mattered more than it does right now. Hit that QR code right there with your phone. Subscribe to The Edge, Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube. Either search it there, search it on Google, Eric Bolling, The Edge on YouTube. Just subscribe. Join us. It's becoming a very, very strong movement. We love having you here at RAV. Love having you here at Bowling at 4 o'clock Eastern at RAV. And also love having you join The Edge with us. By the way, 55% of our views, 650,000 views, 55% are from people who haven't subscribed yet. Come on, jump in. The water's warm. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Freedom to speak your mind. Freedom to protest policies you don't like. Freedom to start a business. Freedom to own property. Freedom to vote. Freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything. Their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat. When the lights go down, the truth comes out.
This is built like a chicken McNugget, but...
This is After Hours with Alex Stein. No filter.
You're a globalist. You don't care about America.
No apologies.
You're a pro-abortion when you should have been aborted.
The undisputed king of trolling.
I was recently sexually assaulted within the metaverse.
I want to vaccinate your mom.
They tried to cancel us.
Deplatforming works.
She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Politics, culture, hypocrisy.
They want them to have their penises cut off.
Uncensored and uncontrolled.
Cut your penis off,
That's what I'm saying. They admit they want to cut people's penises off.
Late night just got dangerous. After Hours with Alex Stein. Coming soon to Real America's Voice.
I'm Lou, mega pilot from Rav's Getter Chat here in beautiful Trump County, Florida. The best place for real news is Real America's Voice.
Howdy, Rav fams. It's Warbringer here. Love you all. Rav is the only place to get the truth, and this is the only way we're going to be able to restore our republic. Love you all. See you in the chat.
Oh, we're playing a little Stranglehold in the break. You can maybe hear a little bit of that, right? Mad Dog, we got some emails. Let's do voicemails. Sorry, voicemails. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. This is viewers' thoughts on taxes.
Yeah, New York mayor's finding out he's $12 billion in debt. Isn't that amazing? It's absolutely amazing. These states take on millions of people and give them tax dollars, and then wonder why there's no tax dollars for the American people. And then they want to raise taxes. Like in California, they want to put a mileage tax and a housing tax now for people that have to drive. It's already expensive here. It's absolutely ridiculous. They give our money away, and then they ask for more money. Such bullshit. When is this criminal crap going to stop? The federal government needs to step in and save Americans. This is absolutely ridiculous. Rogue governments in individual states thinking, you know what, we can have whoever we want and run our state aside from the way we're supposed to run with our country. That's bullshit. We won't have a country. You can't have rogue states doing this crap. You'll kill off the United States. There will be no industry left in any state that can function. California is a leadership. We're going to be the worst state in the history of America for being broke. If more people leaving, more businesses that can't survive, and more corruption, more tax dollars are just given to the corrupt.
So 100% right, sir. You're on it. The problem with California, New York, Illinois, maybe a couple Massachusetts, a couple others, they don't care. The people are voting for this. Can you imagine in America they're voting for socialist, and they're not even hiding it. It's not like they're voting for a guy who has socialist policies in his back pocket but calls himself a Democrat. They're calling themselves Democrat socialists, and they're being voted in. It's incredible. They're finding out the hard way in New York. You've been finding out the hard way in California. Move. Unfortunately, you got to do it. Move to a state. Texas is great. Florida is amazing. Some other great, South Carolina, great states. Move. Dog.
This next viewer is fed up.
And Eric, this is the real deal. I will not be calling to leave any more messages, but I shall pray for you. May God be with you, because this country, whether Donald Trump wanted it on his terms or the Antifa terms, there probably is going to be some type of civil war in this country. And it's not going to bode well for us, because we let them think that they were running the show. And they believe they are running the show. And Donald Trump goes on there every day. Oh, and that was real smart to put Tom Homan in a suit instead of his war gear, so that the Antifa guys, it's like one of my buddies said to me, where's he going, to a party? I thought this was supposed to be the leader of the alpha males of the world. Yeah. Okay, Tom, like I said, there's nobody going to jail. There's nobody going to jail in the Epstein thing. There's nobody going to jail in the people that put Bannon in jail. There ain't nobody going anywhere except the destruction of this country while Donald Trump sits around and barks tough. He ain't that tough, people.
All right, so I wanted to do that because a lot of people are upset with no perp walks. A lot of you are emailing, calling in, really upset. I wanted to give another side of the coin. Mad Dog, play the next one.
Eric, this is Eric from West Virginia. Trump is the road runner, making the Dems chase him as he stops, and they fly right by, shooting off the cliff. All of the Dems' momentum is on stopping or slowing down ICE. Deporting 20 million plus illegals was never going to happen by having ICE or anyone else hunt them down one at a time. It was always logistically impossible. It served its purpose. We lowered the crime rate. But our number one priority has always been mass deportation and the removal of these illegal voters. While the Dems have all of their eggs in the basket chasing ICE, Trump will now unleash the whole of government approach, draining every penny, sustaining every illegal alien. We shut down their bank accounts, housing, food, fire anyone or fine anyone for hiring them. This will prompt mass self-deportation requests. ICE will be busy driving buses, picking up the illegals at their request, and there will be no rioters. Thank you, buddy.
What do you guys think? So there's both sides of the coin. Not enough's happening. Trump made a lot of promises. Trump is actually, the other guy was, Trump's actually playing them. He's playing them. He's letting them think he's running real fast. He's going to stop. They're going to keep running. They're going to run into the wall, and he's going to deport and defund, do things like that. I tell you one thing that we could be doing right now. We've been talking about this. Any illegal caught voting, if you're not a citizen, you got phone, you're immediately deported with your family. Gone. You're not coming back either. Not just for now. Not coming back through that other gate 3 months from now. You're done. We catch you again, you go to jail. I mean, I love that idea that'll clean up a lot of the voting rolls. Yeah, we do need to throw some people in jail. And I hope Trump is playing the road runner and he's going to stop fast and they're going to keep running. I really, really hope he does. I have a lot of confidence in the guy. Voted for him. I've been talking him up and voting for him for 15 years, 10 years at least. Let's hope he does. I have all the confidence in the world that he will, and he's playing them for the full. Let's hope so. Warren.